Hello, everyone, and thank you, Professor Bhide, for the nice introduction, and thanks to all my colleagues on the dais, and also my heartfelt thanks to the Club of Rome for giving me the opportunity to stand here as an educator. I mean, in this entire discussion that we have been having since morning, in the last session, these points came up, the different types of capital, natural, physical, man-made, human. So I will actually speak about human capital formation as the prime activity of educators. And I would like to share some of the experience that we have in educating the young adults who are the feeders to the corporate sector, who actually create the productive base in terms of human capital for future. So, I mean, the theme of this session is about education, role of educators, and the interface that we can have between academia and the corporate sector. So, there's no doubt about the requirement or the need that environmental education has. To create a responsible society, we need to talk about environmental education, greening of education, as we call it, as it may be called, and which eventually leads to greening of employment, empowerment, entrepreneurship, to have more educated and more responsible societies. And in that process, the transformative role actually is played by education to a large extent. So the existing education system that we have, the kind of pedagogy which is used, the requirement for policy level changes, these are the things that I would like to talk about. Very quickly, I know there is a paucity of time, I'll try to be very brief. So I start with the mandate which has come from the UGC. This is a mandate which says that environmental studies is a course which is compulsory at undergraduate level across all disciplines. And as you can see the syllabus, it talks about the basic ideas or the basic themes that we generally talk about when we talk about environmental science. What I would like to present here before the audience is a study that we conducted on this course. I'm taking this as a case study because this is something which shows how this curriculum is actually going on at present. So it was a study in the University of Delhi where we studied about 250 students and some teachers across 10 colleges in the university. It was a stratified sample that we took. I mean, stratified in the sense that we had two types of teachers and students with science background and students who did not study science, and similarly teachers also who have studied environmental science, environmental studies, or those who have not. This is important here because the idea of having this course is to educate everyone at the base level. Unfortunately, the situation is that there are some teachers who have been teaching this paper, who are teaching this paper, who are not duly trained in environmental studies or environmental sciences. So it was important to have this kind of a stratification. What we found is not really very optimistic about the current state of affairs in the education sector as far as environment is concerned. We found that as the syllabus that we saw just before this talks about the very typical textbookish issues and very theoretical. And what we found is that classroom teaching on these kind of topics did not generate as much interest as it was expected to. On the contrary, the last unit that we have in the syllabus, the field work, that is what generated more of encouragement and enthusiasm among the students. So perhaps we need to think how to enthuse students, how to train them properly so that they can become a feeder to not only to the corporate sector, but to the society as a whole, the larger society. We also had a comparison, we did a comparison in the study about the impact that this course had. I mean, the course which students were doing in semester one, in the first year, and also the eco clubs. Eco club is a chain of clubs that run across schools and colleges. So how do these two compare? This course, which is a textbookish course, part of their curriculum, and how did this voluntary eco club organization work? And we found that these eco clubs generated more encouragement and enthusiasm and involvement among the students. getting all these, I mean, since we were already doing this kind of things, but getting all this feedback and other requirements, we moved to a center which we have started in our college, and I would like to present that as a case study, because this center does not talk about classroom lectures or textbooks, but it actually talks about a green initiative, move towards sensitization and awareness of students who are the young adults at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels, to make them stewards for the future, for environmental protection and sustainability. And we envisaged this center with two types of work. One is more academic in nature, research, workshops, seminars, and talks, the kind of things that we typically do. The other one was more of hands-on projects where students could be involved. The first task that the students took under the aegis of the center was to carry out a green census of the college campus. This was a fantastic success. The students were so encouraged and involved in, I mean, the picture shows the first stage where they were labeling, and finally we had a workshop for identification, and then things were labeled. We have about more than 600 plant species within the college campus. And then finally we produced a report of the college census. I have a copy of this. I mean, in case anyone is interested, I would love to share. It generated so much interest that now we have started another census, which is the bird diversity census of the college campus. This is the ongoing project that we are having. And we hope to have a reasonably large number of bird species in the census. The students have been so encouraged and enthused and involved in this kind of activities that we have started a journal which comes from the center. It's a biannual journal with an ISSN where students have started writing. And this is something that we have taken as one of our achievements, that students are involved in both academic writings, academic research, and also the kind of activities which are hands-on. Very recently, I mean, Delhi has been a lot in discussion about air quality. Very recently, it's still on out there. Very recently, we were in a collaboration with the National Physical Laboratory in New Delhi, where we were monitoring the PM 2.5 pre and post Diwali. It was a 2-week-long sampling that we did. And I mean, as you can see, the students were involved in changing the filter paper. The pictures that you see are the filter papers, which were put every day. Students were involved. I mean, it was all the students that they did it. And you can see within 24 hours, the filter papers turned jet black. So these are the kind of things which are going on, and we are educating the students. The report is under preparation, so I can't really share the findings here. Similarly, we had a workshop on the indoor air pollution. You can see a large number of students participating in the workshop. And these are some of the samples which we collected from various places in the college campus, from the canteen, from the bathrooms, from the classrooms. And the students have, taken a lot of interest in learning about indoor air quality as well as outdoor. It's again an initiative of the Eco Club and the college community to make the college campus a waste-neutral campus. So we are trying to have leaf compost. We are having it regularly. We have kitchen waste. We also have, I'm sorry I don't have a picture of that, we also have a paper collection drive, but we don't have a paper recycling plant yet. Maybe that is where some kind of collaboration and intervention from the industry or corporate sector can actually help us out, where we can have a paper recycling plants as well. We also run courses about disaster risk preparedness, and students have in large number participated in this. The picture that you show was from the Delhi Fire Services, where they gave a fire safety drill. And here again you can see the students. I'm talking about it because we took it in a very positive spirit, that students are getting more and more involved, internalized into this whole process of awareness and skill generation. This is another drive that we have. This is about urban farming that we are doing in college. This is a participation of the center in community outreach. Eco Club I have already talked about. It is working very well towards creating a society where the students will become the torchbearers for the future. So these are some of the activities that we have, the field trips. Finally, I would just like to sum up by saying the kind of lessons that we have learned, that we really need to rethink about the theoretical curriculum that we have. We need to improve the student curriculum and also the teacher education curriculum. We need to have more hands-on experiences, and that is where we can actually have more interface with the industry and the corporate sector. We can have maybe more internships, more involvement of the corporate sectors in having green entrepreneurship at the education sector, which would lead to skill formation for a more green and, as we say, eco-literate future generation. Thank you very much.